I now want to turn on this program and welcome onto the show Mr. Adi Godrej, one of our most respected industrialists, former president of CII. So we've been getting a list of suggestions and all that. First of all, your overall sense on the environment and where we are after this crisis that we've been seeing for the last few days.
No, I think clearly the rupee has weakened far more than it is justified. Now, for the rupee to weaken somewhat was expected because of the Fed actions and the fact that some funds were moving out of India. But if you look at the balance of payment, our total reserves have come down very slightly. Our current account deficit, which was quite high, was matched by capital inflows, especially remittances by NRIs. Yet the rupee has depreciated to record low levels, far more than is justifiable. And that is mainly because there is a lot of speculation taking place both within India and especially by hedge funds abroad, because we are not adequately defending the rupee. We've got $280 billion of reserves. Some of it must be spent to protect the rupee from depreciating to this drastic level, because this will cause tremendous macroeconomic problems. Inflation, fiscal deficit, the stock markets, and a multitude of economic problems. So I think it is imperative that the rupee be defended, and then we can work out how to get the reserves back to the earlier level. There are many ways of doing that. NRI deposits will grow tremendously under the present circumstances. So I feel that is the one thing missing from the action taken by the government. Overall, we are taking steps towards reform. We are taking steps to correct the current account deficit, but we are not adequately defending the rupee through RBI action. It is too little and often too late.
So, okay, if I could just give you a sort of counter view to that, there are some people who will argue that, look, taking decisive action to try and defend the rupee using foreign exchange reserves can sometimes be dangerous. It's not that we have massive amounts of foreign exchange reserves, and they're large, but they're not massive. So there is a danger with that, and the parallel to that view would be to say that, look, sooner or later the rupee will take care of itself. If you can get the current account deficit and things like that into control, push exports, control imports, get the basic things sorted out, the rupee will eventually sort itself out. So that would be the counter view. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, but no, I don't agree with that view, because that may be a bit too late, because it will cause a lot of inflation in between. That will lead to higher interest rates, that will lead to fiscal deficit. Correcting that may take too much time. There is no problem if the RBI uses some of its dollars and supplies dollars as is required to prevent the rupee from depreciating. Then you can take other corrective action. What you say might be true, but that will cause more problems than solutions. Whereas if you defend it in the first place, as the Brazilians, for example, are doing after the real started depreciating too much too, I think it will work much better and will be much more forceful.
But if I could just come to the level of overall expectations, and that's why sometimes it's a self-correcting phenomena, is that as expectations increasingly build up, and look at 68 rupee is really undervalued, then sooner or later the expectations start to build up that the rupee has no way to go now but to up, and it will start to climb. And once those expectations really get formed, then the rupee does eventually go up. So sometimes the crashes and the slides are only short-term phenomena which do get auto-corrected.
Yes, but I think it might, I agree with that view, but I think if it is not sooner and if it's a little later, it can cause a problem. In the meanwhile, there will be tremendous inflation, fiscal deficits, etc. So the best thing is, once the rupee reached a level of 57, in fact the RBI did defend it for a while, but then has totally given up. And that has led the speculators to speculate even more. And they have made so much money in speculating against the rupee that they are willing to put in more money, and unless the RBI is decisive, I think we are encouraging these speculators.
So if I could ask you for a health check on the economy in general, in terms of everything else that's been happening, the policy steps that the government has now been announcing, perhaps too little too late, but who knows, at least there are some steps that are being taken, the current account deficit, the health of the economy. Do you think on those parameters things are as bad as they are being, as people are saying they are, or perhaps is there too much pessimism?
See, Vikram, I think if it is managed well, I think the government has taken some good steps to get the projects going, the Cabinet Committee on Investments. I think they are taking some good steps on containing the current account deficit in this financial year. But the wrong step they are taking is not defending the rupee adequately. If they did that together with that, we would be well on our way to good growth in the second half. Because the monsoon is certainly good. I think agricultural output would be good. Once agricultural production is good and there is good demand from rural India, there would be a win-win situation created in the other parts of the economy. And I think we could get onto a good growth path in the second half of the financial year.
All right, Mr. Godrej, always a pleasure speaking to you, and let's hope that some of your optimism on the underlying fundamentals is actually borne out. Thank you so much for having joined us. And we're going to take a break in this special program. We're looking at the great crash of the rupee and what was